Pat McAfee said it, and I didn't want to make this video. He had to go and beg a sponsor to bring down the prices 25% all the way through the end of Monday Night Raw because the product is bad, and this was a reason it was bad. This promo from Pat McAfee, if you know him, love Pat McAfee, but his whole thing is a man of the people. And without being a man of the people, he sucks. Everything about his character right now is literally the antithesis of everything who would make Pat McAfee, and he looks awful doing it. What was wrong with the promo? What was truly awful with this promo? It was way too long. If he hit the basic lines, which he had a few lines in there that worked for me, all you had to do was cut it down to a simple logic in like 2 or 3 minutes and then have Cody come out and cut his promo. And the whole segment could have been saved. Just CM Punk had something to say about me. But you're a talker. You're not a real man of change. You run away when it's time for change. All you have to do is say, when TKO sign your checks for your merch and all your contract, you sit like a good boy and you don't say a word until it's profitable for you to get people to buy your merch. And you say sorry to Saudi Arabia when it's the same time. So I don't want to hear this from you, but I'm a man of change. I went and made the prices drop 25% from tonight to Raw. That could have been the whole promo. You see how long that took? It took no time. That should have been the whole promo. Instead, he meandered around, talking to everybody, being a fake Stone Cold Steve Austin and a fake Rock promo, and it came off as awkward. And like I said, I'm not saying Pat is a bad speaker. You've seen him speak many times greatly. But he's always on the opposite side of the side he's on now. He's always on the side of the individual winning. As he talked crazy to his bosses at ESPN. And the whole ESPN stratosphere cheers for him. Because he's good at that and he's passionate at that. This seemed like the report said that they offered this to him. He initially said no, and then they gave him so much money he couldn't refuse. And it feels like that off TV. It literally feels like that. And then you add Jelly Roll, and I don't understand what's going on with that, because it seemed like this is a Pat McAfee Jelly Roll feud rather than a Cody Rhodes Randy feud, because they seem like the side characters in a feud that was hot just a few weeks ago. I don't get it. And I'm not against celebrities. If you were to take that segment off and just put the Speed segment on Raw and the Yachty segment, I'm good with them. Yachty's doing what he's supposed to do. He's hyping up his friend. He's a hype man for his friend. He's hyping Trick up like he's a star. Speed has a good storyline in which he doesn't want to be involved in, but he's cursed. So the whole situation is revolved around him being cursed and being involved in situations in which he is selling on his own stream that bad things are happening. He's not even doing it on WWE as much. Most of the content we get from Speed is on his own platform selling the curse that Danhausen do. Putting over Danhausen and putting over this thing. And we still think the Usos, LA Knight, and the Vision are the most important thing of that feud. Speed just happens to be there because he's cursed. Danhausen might be the most important person in that feud. I'm not anti-celebrity. I'm anti-whatever that was. Because that was awful. That promo we saw, that whole segment, Pat even walked off with the belt. It's looking like David Arquette DDP again out here. Is it bad as 2019? Let's go over all the rundown of people that's going to save me in the comments right now. Let me save you some time. This ain't 2019 bad. It's not. This ain't fully WCW. It's not, because you got a lot of great storylines. We're not going to pretend this one feud being ruined has ruined WrestleMania because Brock and Oba has had a great feud. Stephanie and Liv, even in a small time, they making it work. Rhea and Jade feud is kind of weird and not that good, not interesting at all. It's strange. It feels like everybody's holding back because they really want to say some disrespectful thing, but they kind of holding off for their job purposes. So they all just hold back, and it feels like they're holding back. Good one. Like I said, Oba, them, the Vision, like the Speed storyline with LA Knight is really good to me. The Stephanie Vaquer again, Liv Morgan. To be fair, the Roman and Punk feud has been good. Outside of the old part, if you look at everything in that feud, it's been relatively good. Outside of just that one line about being old, which for the life of me, people that hate this product or right now feel bad about it holds on to, because as the internet people, as social media creatures, we seem to hold on to bad more so than all the good. You give me 4 good weeks of something, but you do one bad week, we hold on to that bad week and pretend like it's the whole thing. That's just the nature of the beast right now. So I'm not dissing WrestleMania, but my God, do you know how? It's like Triple H doesn't even watch SmackDown. It's like he focuses completely on Raw and just let TK do whatever they want on SmackDown. That's what it feels like. Like, oh, TK want them over there. They want Jelly Roll. They want Yachty. They want this. Put them over there. And the Yachty one's working. The other one's not. Jelly Roll is really, literally throughout this whole show. Speed is on Raw for like, 10 minutes? They have an 8-minute match and he's in like a backstage segment for 20. Jelly Roll is throughout the whole show. Pat McAfee is like the most important thing on the show right now. And now, not to be a pure pessimist, they can make this work. It will take a year-long storyline and a lot of doing, but this was not a good start. The whole TKO versus creative thing is great, but Jelly Roll cannot possibly be part of the creative side. So if they do have a match at Backlash, he has to betray him, right? You can't just make him that important, because he's literally a TKO hire, and no one's gonna believe the story if Jelly Roll is fighting for WWE because he loves it. Because Team Creative should just be wrestlers. Team TKO should be celebrities and Trick Williams and maybe Sami Zayn and all them versus Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes, CM Punk versus that group. That should be the whole thing. It should not be Jelly Roll representing Creative. So if the match do happen, he has to betray him. I'm doing this during SmackDown. This will be on your YouTube before SmackDown goes off there. That's how bad this was. So I want to know your thoughts. How do you feel about the Pat McAfee segment? How do you feel about the whole WrestleMania build-up? SmackDown has been god-awful. It has been god-awful to watch. Raw has been really good to watch. So I'm a little split on it. I'm not going to pretend like it's the worst thing ever. Last week's SmackDown was one of the worst things I've seen. That segment was one of the worst things I've seen. It's like they put no effort into SmackDown at all. And last night it was like, ew, TKO do it. Like, it's like Trips gives up and let TKO do whatever they want on that show. And whoever they bring, they just bring. Maybe you can give us some energy with Royce Keys. Trick Williams, the one good thing on the show. Him and Carmelo Hayes. But what's making me upset right now about that, I thought about it. You saw me pause. They did a fake injury storyline to try to supplement us on being mad that Trick won't be on the show. This is what SmackDown is. My problem with Trips, besides this segment, which is obviously TKO doing, is that he's such a predictable booker that I couldn't tell at NXT until I watched again with Black and Gold. But you got to remember, that show was only an hour, and he had all the most talented indie wrestlers on the show. It was literally AEW before AEW. And it was nothing but indie wrestlers, and he only had an hour show to do it in. Now he does 5 hours a week, 6 hours a week, 5.5, 6 hours a week. And you kind of see that he books safely. He has this goal in his mind, and he books. TK had this problem a few years ago, by the way. Tony Khan. He had this problem where he books to the goal that he has and doesn't like subvert. He's like Doc Rivers. He's like Doc Rivers of booking. He has a plan. If the plan goes awry, he doesn't change the plan. He just keeps going with the plan. Unless it forces him to change, in which for some reason he gives us a little bit of good during that period, but then he goes back to the plan, which is interesting. But again, I don't know what they're doing on SmackDown. The Sami Zayn, I don't know why Sami Zayn had to be. I guess they didn't want Trick beating Melo and gonna set it up later. But the Sami Zayn situation, I don't know what they're doing with the women's matches. They just rinse and repeat the same thing. Rhea and Jade, their best segment was on Raw. The Raw segment was the best one they had, but every SmackDown one hasn't been that good. Like I said, they feel like they holding off. Everything about SmackDown has been bad. NFTs have literally fought over this lantern. They even gave up their belts for that lantern. They gave up their championship. The tag team championship was given up for a lantern. I get it. I feel you. There's hope. There's a little bit of hope that they can just figure out this storyline and make the TKO versus creative storyline work. But I look at it and I lose a little bit of faith that they can make it work. It's there. It's the creative is there. It's right in your hand. You can tell a generational story and create stars, because I felt like WWE needed an establishment that people can fight against. And I was thinking this when I wrote my last one about lazy booking. I feel like they need an establishment, because I'm watching the Paul Heyman promo against Vince McMahon and all the stories about Vince being a villain. I'm watching the Daniel Bryan stuff. I'm watching the whole villain, The Rock versus Stone Cold, and there was the Vince McMahon behind everything and all that. I'm watching these things, and I'm seeing that you need it every once in a while. It's been a while. You need a establishment people to create good story, and TKO can be that using Pat, but it's back to Pat McAfee. That promo was not it. I'm hoping next week is better. I'm hoping he uses his own show to promote it and have some cool things happen, so he can be more in his environment to create some buzz for the show. And to people that saying just watch AEW, listen, if you're a wrestling fan and you're a hardcore wrestling fan, watch AEW. You should. But you can't tell the people that likes to be sports entertained to watch AEW. I won't recommend that, because that's not what you like. It's not what you want. You want bigger than reality. You like bigger than life stars. And the only ones that might give you that is MJF and Swerve. And sometimes they look more wrestling than the other, but sometimes they lose. So you got like 6 hours a week. It's everybody else just being wrestling. But if you like wrestling, I'm telling you, try AEW. But if you like wrestling, you should have been tried out AEW. I'm rambling. I'm like Pat McAfee. I'm finna get off. See, Pat, you ramble too much. It throws off the whole video. I just gave you an example. So let me know in the comments how you think. How do you feel about this situation? How do you feel about the promo, SmackDown overall, WWE, the WrestleMania Build? Like I said, I didn't hate it. I haven't hated it. I just hate the SmackDown portion of it. Let me know in the comments. So I want to know your thoughts. I want to be thought-provoked by you. Why do you like some of the stuff I hated? Let me know. Peace.